Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Thursday, May 30th, 2024. Good morning and happy Jupiter's Day to everyone. Today we have a waning crescent moon. We are in the Gemini season, the Celtic tree month of Hawthorn, deer season, and we're in the midst of the Pluto retrograde. Now, for the specifics of our astrology, the sun today is in Gemini, mutable air sign representing communication. The moon begins the day in third quarter Pisces, mutable water representing artistry. And then at 12:13 p.m. Central Time, that's when we go into the fourth quarter and that waning crescent moon. Mercury is in Taurus, a fixed earth sign representing practicality. Venus is in Gemini, a mutable air sign representing spendthrifts. Mars is in Aries, a cardinal fire sign representing initiative. Jupiter is in Gemini, a mutable air sign representing questing. Saturn is in Pisces, a mutable water sign representing nostalgia. Uranus is in Taurus, a fixed earth sign representing practicality. Neptune is in Pisces, a mutable water sign representing imagination. And Pluto is retrograding Aquarius, fixed air, and meaning the need to examine intentions. And of course, our Pluto retrograde mantra: reflect, heal, evolve. So we now have a waning crescent. That means rest, reflect, and purge. Purge possessions, purge, any kind of energies that you need to get out of your system. Anything that you need to get rid of, it's time to kick that into high gear. Now for the Pisces moon, remember your do's: to retreat, meditate, and cleanse, and your don'ts of not over socializing, being one-dimensional, or associating indiscriminately. So Jupiter and the sun today are harmonized in Gemini, and so the brainstorming ideas should be flowing for you today. The Pisces moon will aid this creative process, albeit in a more quiet, discreet, and private kind of way. So enjoy and revel in any secret projects you have going. Make use of this moment to make progress. You don't have to share what you're doing with anyone else just yet. Get it ready, and that way when the time does come to share, be open about what you're doing, you're in a more advanced stage of your process. Now, our tarot card for today is the Hermit. It represents solitary contemplation, the need to test belief systems, and just the need to retreat. And sometimes we do need to just kind of go back into ourselves, take a step back, and just get a little bit of peace and quiet. And this goes along with what is going on with us astrologically and with the moon phase and just where everything is at right now. We're getting this overall message of, it's time for some you time. Go away, be quiet. Don't feel the need to just necessarily be out there and doing all these extroverted things. It's time for some inner nurturing. So I feel like the Hermit is doing a very good job of making that point. Now today's Celtic Triad reads: three monstrous things in the world: a youth without civility, a woman without dignity, and a man without a conscience. So we can probably just look around us and identify all of those things taking place all around us every single day. It sounds like everything that we see in the media on a daily basis, and unfortunately, quite frequently, what we see amongst the people around us as well. Now, monstrous is a pretty strong word. If you look at dictionary.com, you'll see that it says inhumanly or outrageously evil or wrong. Now, that's a pretty big deal. And it shows just how seriously the Celts took these particular offenses. To be young without being civil. You are so out of order that, you're actually getting this big word of monstrous applied to you. Of being a woman without dignity, that you have so forsooken this aspect of your being that you are actually betraying it. And then being a man without conscience, again, operating in the world, but not listening to that inner voice of a right and wrong, virtue and vice. These are pretty serious things. And, at first we was like, oh, well, okay, this is bad behavior, but it's not really more serious than that. Not according to our Celtic ancestors. They saw this as symptoms of something much worse, of a far greater defect in character. And so that really means it's another time for us to turn the mirror on ourselves and ask, are we willing to root out this kind of monstrousness within ourselves? Because apparently these are not small things. So today's magical intention is generosity. For that, we have the color green. The plant is the apple, the animal is the ram, and the crystal is agate. Now, the ugliness of the world and the ugliness of some people's character, that can make cultivating a generous spirit highly challenging. So if you find that you are struggling with that, don't be afraid to make use of some of these correspondences. And, with the correspondences, I'm bringing you 4 associated with a particular concept. There are more than 4 correspondences to every kind of concept, and there's always substitution for everything. So if you don't have some of these things on hand or within reach, don't feel like that you couldn't use any kind of magical impetus to work on that spirit of generosity today. You have a lot of options. You just have to, do a little bit of research and investigate about what those are. But these are ones that I brought to your attention today. More than anything else, having some generosity, particularly towards people who deserve it. And I don't mean just, kind of monetary or resource generosity. What about showing generosity of giving people who deserve it the benefit of the doubt, of not concluding the absolute worst about someone just because someone has something to say about them? That kind of generosity is greatly lacking in the world. And we need to restore that kind of goodwill where it's warranted amongst ourselves, even more than people might need a helping hand in a more material fashion. So for today's pagan practice, honor a hearth deity, leave an offering for the house brownie. Just give that your surroundings some extra love today. Infuse a little bit of extra love while we're on the topic into making dinner tonight. And then take stock of your household routine and if it's working for the family. It's good to just kind of periodically look at, okay, are our habits, our rhythms, our patterns, is this helping us, or is this, not really working for us? Because it's okay to make adjustments. It isn't about, living up to some external ideal of this is how you run your household. It's more so looking at the result of, is my household running well, and am I doing things that actually build it up? And if the answer is no, adjust, because the goal is to have that happy home. If you haven't already, it's probably time to shift the winter clothes into storage. I mean, surely by now, even our most northern neighbors, you have been able to banish winter. At least I hope you have. For most of us, it is probably a bit overdue, make that closet shift. And then carry some jasper. And I'm recommending the jasper crystal today, specifically because it is such a calming stone. It's associated with tranquility and grounding, and just having a more, I am here, I am where I'm at. I'm not being, I'm not drifting away into the clouds, kind of energy to it. And oftentimes that's that's very helpful. It's very soothing. So if you have some jasper, just slip it in your pocket, or if you have one of those crystal cages on a necklace, make use of that as well. Now, for today's journal prompt, we have Freyr, who is the god of fertility in the Norse pantheon, and he's also associated with marriage. Read a little bit about Freyr today if you're not familiar with him, and then just contemplate, what can Freyr teach us about marriage, and see where you can go with that. And that's what I have for you today. Come back tomorrow for the next edition of the Daily Forecast. And in the meantime, let me know what you thought about all this in the comment section below, or send me an email at brigantiablackbird@protonmail.com, and I'd be happy to get with you there. But that'll do it for now, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.